What's up guys, Tinman77 here, welcome to the YouTube. We're going to talk about board support matchups. I post a little tier list on my Twitter. Make sure to check my Twitter out, post more stuff of that on there and memes and shit. So, it obviously always also matters what ADCs there are. You can't only look at the support matchup, but for today we will. And so we get an idea how to play board against certain supports, which ones are good, but you can't say, oh, if they pick Karma, you're instantly going to lose the lane. Always matters on the ADC matchup as well. Alright, the core idea is, or some core ideas, he's good against enchanters. Why? He can roam and they can't match the roams. And if you're playing against enchanters, they one can't really match the roams. If they do, they're worse at it. And three, they can't 2v1 dive on bot. They can 3v1 dive with the jungler, but if you're, let's say you're playing against Nautilus Kaiser, a very common lane, and you leave your ADC, they will be able to dive him without their jungler. You can't do that with Lulu or Yumi or Jenna, unless your ADC is completely griefing. So enchant is usually a bit lower, hook support's a bit higher. Then Thresh is super good against board. Good Thresh. You lose the lane. They're super safe because Thresh can stand back and lantern, so you can't really abuse the ADC with your jungler. In late game, if you hit a ult on a priority target, mid or ADC, he can throw a lantern and they get out of there. So Thresh super good. Karma, she can just really poke you. There's not too much you can do about it. I made another YouTube video how to play against Karma. You put 2 points in W, so you can sustain the poke. You don't really have trade patterns against her, so she's super good against board as well, Pike as well. You lose the lane and he can roam just as good as you. The only good thing about it is you outscale him very hard late. Amumu as well, you just lose the lane. Sona, you don't really have trade patterns into Sona. If you're going for an auto attack with the Meep, she can Q auto attack you, or she can just Q you. So she will always get a better trade, and Sona's case is really good. So if you're playing against Sona, you would rather have like a hook support where you at least can win the lane. Yeah. Senna also, you don't really have a trade pattern into her. If you auto attack her, she can auto attack you or Q auto attack you. The only way you can trade into Senna is if she Qs your ADC or Qs the wave, then you can auto attack Q. Well, just a super solid champ. You probably won't die against it in lane, but she's also strong later. Same kind of with these guys. Zac can just jump in, but with these champs it really depends on the ADC matchup. Hook supports are really good against Bard because later when usually you can ward pretty deep in their jungle and you're very safe with Portal. If you get hooked, you're dead. That's basically it. Make sure to go bomb plating against hook supports. Cillian just super outscales you and you can't abuse him in lane, kinda like Sona. But at least you're not gonna lose the trades. Also when you ult someone he can ult it. Luckily there's not that many good Cillian players. And yeah, things like Luke support, Velcot support, Ash support, you're not, or Xerath support, you're not necessarily going to win the lane, but they're always a freebie in late game. You can always ult them. If they don't have flash, they're dead. If they have flash, they need to flash. Same with Naomi. It's not that Bard is super good against them in lane, but you can always catch them late game. Same goes with the enchanters. But yeah, with enchanters you can even win the lane. Yumi is probably his easiest matchup because you can just roam. Your ADC gets a lot of free experience. She can't really zone him. They just can't abuse that they're 2v1. Brand is probably the worst of the AP supports. Because even in lane you don't have that much difficulty because you're super fast with Bard, you can dodge his stuff. Shaco is just, if you're playing Shaco support, you probably want to play against a squishy or an engage support. If you're playing against squishy, you can just Q them all in, kill them. If you're playing against like a hook support, an engage support, you can place the boxes defensively. Bard is neither a squishy support nor does he go in, so it's a bit harder Shaco. Then yeah, there's some picks you don't really see AP Twitch. It's like yeah, it's so cheesy. It's if he gets an early kill, I don't know. I would call it a skill matchup. Then what else do we have? Syra kind of good against Bard in lane, but you can Q for her plants, maybe try to stun her, and also she can't really match the roams, but she can poke your ADC down. I think that's pretty much it. Nautilus is probably the support you're going to see the most. Good thing about it is if you're a Bard main, you're gonna have played the matchup more often than he has played it. So people think Nautilus is good against the Bard, but you're gonna play the matchup so much that you know exactly, oh, I have to care here. We win now if he hooks me. Against Nautilus, you can, if you have bomb plating up and they're already a bit poked, you can tank the hook and then all in them. You can't always do that, sometimes you just die, but if they're a bit lower, bomb plating is super strong in the early. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Good against enchanters, decent against AP mages, a little bit worse against hook champs. If you want more specific guides on specific matchups, leave a comment and thanks for tuning in.